Hi, I'm Alexa.
And I'm Andrea.
Welcome to As You Are.
Where are you sitting right now?
What's in front of you?
What's to your right? To your left?
Is your body comfortable right now?
What can you do to make your body 20% more comfortable?
50% more comfortable.
100% more comfortable.
Take a deep breath in.
Hold for 1, 2.
And exhale all the tension out.
See how easy it is to connect with yourself and your surroundings.
By checking in and taking deep breaths, you allow your body to relax and become more aware.
That's the topic for today.
Yes.
That felt good.
That felt really good.
Yeah, so today we wanted to talk about how to tune in with your body and become more aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 8 recommendations and tips that we want to share with you.
Yes. I think for both of us, we've been on a journey to connect with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel this episode is very fitting in many ways. And we're not just saying this up in the air. These are 8 recommendations that have really helped us.
Yes.
Really, truly connect with us. So we hope you can take what relates with you, leave what doesn't, but hopefully you'll learn a couple things today with us.
Yeah, I agree with what you say. It's like we implement this whenever we feel overwhelmed, disconnected. So it are things that have helped us. So we just want to share it in case you want to try them out.
Yeah.
Recommendation number 1, connect with your breath. Breathing is so important just to calm yourself down, and breathing in and breathing out. It's a great technique for so many things. One thing that I use it the most is in the beginning, whenever I feel like super overwhelmed with something, I just basically what we did is breathe in, hold, and breathe out.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just like resets my body in a way that it's amazing just by breathing in and breathing out.
Yes.
It's incredible. And also something else that we were talking about is connect with your breath and the movements.
Mm-hmm.
Too. It's whenever we're working out or stretching, as you were saying, it's we breathe in, we breathe out with the movement. So it's like a connection between your mind and your body.
Yeah, I recently got into, I would say that in the past couple of months, I've really understood why people say to connect with your muscles and it with the breath at the same time, especially for me when I'm doing my flexibility stretches. Mm-hmm. It's so important for me to breathe oxygen into whatever area that I'm stretching because it really allows me to let that muscle relax, and I'll literally feel the tension dissipating as I'm breathing in and letting go and letting go and letting go. So yeah, I think the practice of connecting your breath with anything that you do. And we were talking about also, let's say you're taking a yoga class, just allowing your breath to flow with each movement. It also makes you more connected and more present.
Yes. And like breathe through the pain when you're stretching, for example. It's like you're breathing through it and it like lets you flow and continue to push through the pain. It's like it becomes part of the whole movement and exercise. It's not one thing disconnected from the other. It's like it all becomes part of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And for both of us, whenever there's a moment where our breath is not in sync with whatever movement that we're doing, our mind is somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how powerful it is to have that connected because it really brings you to the present. And I know whenever my breath is not out of sync, I was not in sync, I was thinking of something else. For sure. 100%.
100%. Yeah. I've been in yoga classes with sometimes I'm like, I completely zone out and I'm like thinking about something that I don't know, it's important that day or whatever. Sometimes I zone out and that's when I'm like doing the movement and I'm not even breathing about like the movement. And it's so interesting how disconnected you become just by that, and then how helpful it is breathing in and breathing out while you're doing something specifically, because it lets you completely focus on what you're doing in that moment.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a reason why most meditation practices and yoga practices and all of that, like all of these like practices that bring you inward, I think there's a reason why they all pretty much start with the breath. It's such a powerful way to be present with you. So if you're someone that struggles with being present and you always have things running through your mind and you can't really connect, breath work
it's so helpful. Oh,
yeah.
And also whenever I'm stressed or anxious, it's really helpful to just take a moment and take 5 breaths and be like, okay, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And it helps so much just by relaxing your body overall.
Yes.
Too. So it's really helpful for so many things.
Yeah.
So many more things than we realize.
If you're someone that has never done breath work before, I recommend square breathing, and we'll link a video below of like a guided one that you can follow. But essentially, you follow a square. So you breathe in for 3 to 4 seconds, hold for 3, exhale for 3, and then hold for 3 again. And then you go and do that square for however long you need. And it's really, really good to let tension out, decompress, and connect within. So yeah.
I love that.
The second recommendation that we have is body scan meditation. And this one really comes from me because Andrea has never tried it, but I'm going to find one for you that you're going to love.
Yes.
And you have to try it because it's been really, I want to say life-changing for me. Like the first time that I did it, I was like, wow. I don't know. For me, I really connected with that type of meditation. And it's probably the one guided meditation that I'll go back to and do over and over again. For that, I actually prefer a guided meditation because it takes you, if you're listening and you don't know about it, it's like, of course, it starts with the breath and putting you in a very calm and relaxed state. And then it takes you through each part of your body. It starts either from the head or from the toes. And then let's say you start with your right foot and then you feel each and every toe. Then you go to your ankle, then you go to your muscles, your knees, and every single part. And then it tells you to focus in and see if you see any tension. If there's tension with your breath, let that tension go. And for me, doing that meditation, there are sometimes I notice tension in areas that I wouldn't have noticed before unless I had done the meditation. So it is a very powerful way for me to connect with my body. And there are certain meditations that will implement gratitude in it as well.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So, and I love that because it really makes you appreciate your body and feeling your hand. It's like these things that we take for granted, you know, because we're so used to using them on a daily basis, but not everybody has hands, not everybody has feet, not everybody can see, not everybody can hear. So all of these little things that there's one meditation in particular that the woman says that our body does so much for us every day without even any reflection or any thought from us. But we tend to neglect our body so much and criticize our body. And so really I love a body scan meditation. Even if you're not a meditation person, I highly recommend it just to connect with yourself.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think you mentioned that during our meditation episode that you do like body scans. Sometimes like I think you do it yourself and sometimes you follow.
Yeah, if I do it myself, it's more with the chakras. Like I'll go to each chakra. But if like a full body scan, I prefer to listen.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, that I've done not like so thorough, like the ones that you're saying, like toes and muscles, but I've been doing like I've done scans that are like from the feet to the top of your body. So it's like, oh, feel your feet, like wiggle your feet.
Oh,
and
that's
like,
good. Yeah,
but it's not like as through, but I've done it. But it makes me feel more grateful about being able to do those stuff. Like, feeling
your toes.
Yeah, like feeling your legs. Oh, you have 2 legs, you have 2 feet. So it's like you become more grateful and appreciative of all the things that you have and you can do.
Yeah.
So it's like really good.
There's one in particular that I've been loving right now, but it's on the Mind Valley app. So if you don't have the membership, I don't think you can have access to it. I can still refer to it in case someone has the Mind Valley membership that I've talked about on the meditation episode as well. So if you're curious about it, you can take a look there. But that one in particular is really good for gratitude, that meditation. So I'll try and find one that's free, that's comparable, similar. But I was telling Andrea that I actually want to start doing my own meditations, guided meditations.
Yeah, I think you would be great at it.
And the first one that I started writing is a body scan meditation, and it's all about gratitude. So I'm very excited to record it. And whenever I upload it, I'm probably thinking insight timer.
Maybe, can you do it here? Maybe you can upload like a quick...
Where?
YouTube.
On the podcast?
Yeah. Not like on the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. I could probably do it on our YouTube channel in both Insight Timer as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like,
so when it's up, we'll let you know. Just be patient with me because I have a lot going on in my head. So it might not come like right now, but it's something that I will do. And I'm excited about it. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. And if there's a specific meditation type that you've been looking for and haven't been able to find,
that's great.
Let me know and I can also try and do it.
I'm excited for you. I think you'll be great. When you say that, I'm like, that's so you. Like, perfect.
Yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed like writing the draft that I have now. I was like, oh, and I don't know. I really liked it. So
okay, great. Okay, so recommendation number 3, listening to the cues. So when we were talking about this, there's so many things and signals that our body sends to us. It can go from all the way to like cravings to how you're physically feeling, or if your thoughts are too it's not cloudy. What's the word? It's like
foggy.
If you're like foggy, there's so many things that send cues to us that sometimes we completely normalize or ignore, that I think it's super important to listen to. For example, in my case, I've become so aware and connected to my food cravings, which is something that it has taken me so much time to master, and I'm still like working on it. But in the beginning, I wouldn't like listen to what I was craving. I would be like, oh, I'm just like, it's just what I feel like eating right now. But actually, when I started becoming more aware of that, I started realizing so many things. For example, it got to a point that I was like so connected that I started craving strawberries and berries and berries in general. And I was like, this is weird. Like, why would I crave this? And it's like, I felt my body was craving like antioxidants and things to protect me from getting sick. So I would start drinking smoothies and more strawberries and incorporating those into my diet. And I could feel like my body was
responding well to it.
Because as before I got that craving, I was like starting to feel like tired and like maybe I was starting getting sick. So I started realizing that my body can literally ask me for things. And it's so interesting. There's like a chart that gives you specific cravings. It's like groups of cravings that are very normal to people. Like it's like things that a lot of people crave.
You mentioned in the last episode chocolate and it being related to, was it iron
and coffee and things like that. So there's like a chart that specifically can explain those things. And when I read that, I was like, I started to become even more and more aware that it's like, oh, I'm like low in whatever mineral and that's why I'm craving this and things like that. So I think it's great to start listening to the smallest cues that your body is telling you. Even we have mentioned this before, like when you have like a headache, instead of like brushing it off, it's like, okay, think about your day. Are you stressed?
What did you do?
Are you did you sleep well?
Did you drink enough water?
There's so many factors that can come into play that is just listen to whatever your body's telling you.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it also relates to your intuition because that little voice and these little cues, it's really all your intuition trying to speak with you. And we also mentioned, I think it was the last episode or the episode before, about how your intuition will guide you in life. And I think it also guides you with your body. I think our bodies know how to heal themselves and how to
we
be healthy and vital. And we underestimate the cues and we just shut them off. If you're feeling like a slight pain or discomfort in your stomach, maybe it's something you ate. So think about what you ate that day, and your body talks to you.
Yeah. And it for sure, for me at least, it took me so much time to understand each cue. It's like in the beginning I wouldn't understand certain things, even though I was like trying to understand it. In the beginning it can be like a little bit overwhelming and a little bit hard, but as times goes on and you start like really thinking through, okay, I feel this, like what happened today, or what did I do earlier in the day, or
I mean, it's a skill. Like you have to the more you make it a habit, the better you get.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it takes time, but as soon as you like start understanding those things, it becomes, it's like you feel so much power on your body that it's great. And it's really, really nice to be able to respond to the cues.
Yes, I love that. The fourth one is, this is really for women, but connecting with your menstrual cycle. We talked about the book, The Fifth Vital Sign, which has been revolutionizing for me. It really is what taught me everything about my cycle. And it really solved a lot of issues that I was dealing with, like whether it be pain or irregularity or any of these things. And I think learning to understand the process of how my cycle works, what hormones are activated during what portion of my cycle, it really helped me connect with myself as well. So I think as women, our periods can teach us so much about who we are and what things cause stress in our lives. Because there could be situations where you don't even necessarily know that you're stressed, but your period comes maybe a week later, or you feel a little bit more pain, and that's all your body talking to you, like, okay, this week you ignored me. And literally, if ever right now I feel just a little bit of pain from my period, I know it's because that month I ignored my body and I ignored my period. And I know that it's just telling me, hey, I'm here. Don't forget about me. Pay attention to me. Whenever you're in pain, it's literally your body signaling to you, hey, pay attention to me. Hey, something's happening here.
Yeah, that's so true. That has happened to me too, because in my case, it's like when I'm straining my body too much, or like when I'm not resting properly, or when I'm like being too harsh to my body, more than my mental aspect, it's like I feel that when I'm like not paying attention to like resting my body enough. And it's that when I'm about to get my period and I start feeling the cramps, it's like, oh, I know I did something wrong.
You know.
It's like, it's like, okay, I'm sorry.
I know, I'm sorry. I'll apologize to my body, literally. I'll talk to it. I'll apologize. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I did not pay attention to you this
like
month.
My fault.
My bad.
I know. I totally agree with that. And we normalize so many of our symptoms when we have our period, because
I think it's like no one really taught us what each symptom meant, and it was kind of just normal that, oh yeah, you have your period and you're experiencing pain. That's normal.
That's
but
norm,
it's not.
But it's not. And it's good to mention that just become aware of that's not normal, and then just pay attention to that. And we have an episode where we talk about it, so if you're interested, you can go and watch it. We can link it below. Okay, recommendation number 5, understanding my emotions. I feel this has been one thing that I've been trying to focus the most recently, is understanding my feelings, exactly what am I feeling and why I am feeling it. Sometimes, let's say for work, to give an example, sometimes I'm super stressed about something, and instead of just being stressed and use that word as being like my overall emotion, it's like, okay, but am I really stressed? Am I anxious? Am I nervous? And try to pinpoint exactly what I'm feeling, because sometimes we just use like the broad emotion instead of like pinpointing exactly what you're feeling. And then why are you feeling like that?
And you talked about the wheel of emotions. That's super helpful in narrowing down. What episode was it? I don't remember anymore.
Wheel of emotions. That was probably journaling.
Yeah,
the journaling episode. We can link that one below, because that has helped me so much to understand exactly what I'm feeling, because initially I would be like, oh, I'm sad. And it's like, am I really sad, or is it I'm just anxious, depressed? I don't know. Like there's so many smaller categories that you can pinpoint to that. So it's really important to understand your emotions, so then you become more aware, and it's easier to pinpoint exactly like the solution or what to do to make you feel better. And that has helped me so much. Like going back to the example of work, it's like, okay, I'm nervous. No, I'm really actually anxious because this is really important for me, because this presentation will lead me to this, and that. And then you become more aware of whatever you're feeling, instead of just like, oh, I'm feeling this way, I'm just brushing it off, like just gonna ignore it, keep working, and then ignore it.
Right. And I think that way, when you keep ignoring and ignoring and ignoring, you just start living with all of these emotions inside you, and you not become numb, but
it's like flight or fight mode. You just become like,
you just become all of these emotions, and you don't have any control over how you react to things, and you kind of lose sight of like your center. And I think, to what you were saying, pinpointing what the exact emotion is, but also pinpointing what triggered it. Because sometimes it's even a word that someone said that could make you feel for an entire day an emotion. So pinpointing the trigger and then understanding exactly the emotion, it can give you so much power, because now you know where it comes from, you know exactly what it is. And even if you can't solve it right away, I'm telling you, just identifying trigger and emotion will put you at ease and in a state of more.
Yeah, it makes it feel more simpler. Like more simple than it is.
Yes.
It's like when you start breaking it down, you start to understand it more, and it's easier to take action on those things. Whereas like in the beginning, you would see it as a whole problem, and then you just brush it off. It's like,
and it's like, I think if you brush it off, you can at some point feel a little helpless, because you're like, I don't know why I feel this. I don't know what I feel, and I don't know why I feel it. I think that's a very hard position to be in. I've definitely been in that position.
Yes.
And you can feel so stuck and so in your head, and you're like, and you just feel like you don't want to do anything. You don't know why, you don't know what. So
you don't know why, where, how.
Like, I don't know. I just am not there.
Yeah, it's like a snowball
it's
effect.
fine to not always have to like figure everything out. But if you can, on a daily basis, just pay attention.
Yeah.
Just these little, oh, okay, I feel this because that. You don't have to solve it right then and there. Just make the mental note. Oh, I just felt a little bit of stress right here, right when they told me I had to present this in an hour.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes, totally. And is what you're saying. It becomes like a snowball effect. Like, oh, it's growing and growing and growing, and it gets to a point where you don't know where to start or how to fix it. So it just listen to those little cues, and then you can also use other tips, like as we were saying, breathe in, breathe out. So try a combination of things to help you figure those things out.
Yeah. The sixth recommendation we have is affirmations. I think affirmations, it also relates to vocabulary. What vocabulary you use when you think and talk about yourself. And affirmations can be a really, really good way to connect and show love and gratitude to your body. And I think affirmations are so particular and personal to each person and what they need at the moment. If, for example, you're someone that is struggling to accept yourself, maybe a good affirmation for you would be, I love myself just as I am. And repeating that, let's say you combine it with breath work, and you repeat that 3 times before you go to bed. Just saying that not only allows you to connect with yourself, but also it allows you to accept yourself and love yourself. So words are so powerful.
Yeah, they're so powerful. And it helps you change your mindset too. When you start changing and using the right words, your mindset starts to change, and you start looking at things differently as well.
So Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a pretty short and quick tip, just
Yeah.
affirmations.
I think it's a
Watch
good
what you
reminder.
say. Yeah.
It's a good reminder to start including those things into a daily, like in your life.
Yeah, and I would say too, don't be afraid to talk to yourself. Seriously. In the beginning it will feel weird, and for me, it still feels sometimes like, why would I, if you're feeling, and I've talked about this before, I felt pain in my knees before, and I talked to my knees, and
Thank them.
I thanked my knees, and I was with my knees. So you could say, oh, why would I talk to my knee? That's weird. But trust me,
I do that all the time.
it's like you have a whole universe within you. Within your body is a whole universe. And you talking to it is you acknowledging it, acknowledging its pain or its signals, its cues that it was trying to tell you. So even affirmations, if for your knees, my knees are healing every day. My knees are working for me. And
yeah, it's so crazy how your thoughts and what your brain can do when you give it positive thoughts. It's so much more powerful than we realize.
Yes. And don't feel silly. Just do it because it works. Both of us can tell you it works.
I do it all the time. Recommendation number 7, alone time. So this is a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I think for me, this is one of the most important things in my life that help me connect with myself in general. Whenever I don't have much alone time in long periods of time, like let's say I have people visiting, or I'm traveling, or I'm like too busy with work and doing so many things, I start to feel so overwhelmed just because I haven't had enough time to be at peace and quiet alone with my thoughts, being able to think. Because sometimes when you're around people, you don't think what you're going through or what's happening or what you're feeling. It's just like you're always distracted with so many things. So I think that finding time alone and prioritizing that and not letting be your mind distracted all the time. And I know it's hard because we work 40 hours a week at least, and then we have a family, we have friends, we might have a partner, like we are surrounded with people all the time. But I think prioritizing yourself and being alone helps you connect with your emotions, with whatever you're feeling, how you felt that day, what make you feel this way, what make you feel the other way. So just alone time. I don't know how much.
And I think it also, alone time, and also watch for the quality of your alone time. Are you on your phone in your alone time?
No.
Or are you, sometimes I really believe in the power of being bored and how much that can allow you to go inside and
and know yourself.
Know
too.
yourself.
Yeah.
And also you'll have like epiphanies and moments of this idea, like things you want to create. It's like a moment where you're just alone with yourself, and it's okay to not, because I struggle with this a lot, to not feel productive all the time, especially in a world where you have everything at the tip of your fingertips. And it's like, well, why would I just sit and do nothing while I could be listening to a podcast? Listening to a podcast is a great thing, but also it's like, aside from your, that whatever the podcast gives you, whether it's education or time to like just disconnect from work, sometimes you need those where you're just like, I don't even want to connect with myself. I just want to disconnect altogether.
And that's fine too.
And that's totally fine. But don't mistake those for quality time alone with yourself. Because you need, aside from those moments where you disconnect completely, you also need those moments where you're just with yourself, journaling, meditating.
Yeah, or you can do also things that you like. It could be like cooking.
Yeah.
It could be organizing. It could be cleaning.
Even showering.
Showering. Ooh.
That's quality alone time
that's
for
great
me.
One. Yeah. Like a bath.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. Yeah, because you have time to feel honestly, because it's good that you give the example of podcasts. Like sometimes I don't literally, I that has happened to me too, that I don't want to think about anything besides like something else. So I put like a podcast or music or a TV show, whatever. But when you do that, you start thinking and listening to the voice or watching the movie. So you don't have time. Like
your
you
attention is outside.
Your attention is not on you. It's like in something outside of your body. So that's totally understandable. But if that becomes a habit, then you start losing the quality time that we were talking about, and you don't have the opportunity to listen to what you're feeling.
Like, I think it's introspection. You don't have that time for introspection.
No.
Introspection is really important, especially to just ground back to your truth. And I think a lot of the times we tend to feel lost and disconnected because we don't have those moments of introspections where we remind ourselves who we are, what we're doing, what the present moment looks like. I think whenever we feel fear or stress, it's because we're disconnected from the present, overwhelmed. You're disconnected from the present and you're disconnected from from you. So yeah, quality time for you.
Alone time, yeah. That's huge for me. I need that very often.
Yeah. And even for people that, let's say you're a mom and you have kids, even you, I promise you, you can find just a couple minutes for yourself a day.
Yeah, it doesn't need to become like a full.
Don't feel guilty. It's like I know a lot of people who have become new moms now and they feel the sense of responsibility, which of course you're a mom, but also find that time for yourself. At least a couple minutes a day.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be like a full day thing. It needs to be like, if it's good, like quality time, it doesn't need to be that long. It just needs to give you the space and the opportunity to listen to your body.
Even if it's, let's say, like a nighttime skin product routine, be present in that routine. Yeah. Be like, okay, let go of your day. Be present. Because you might think, oh, okay, I'm just going to put this on and put the kids to bed. No. Relax. Take your time. Put your products. Enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I love that.
Recommendation number 8, and this is the last one, is to be aware of your surroundings. And this is how we started the episode today with our meditation, is paying attention to your surroundings. For both of us, moments where we were not aware of our surroundings, we were also not aware of ourselves. We were in a completely different world. And in those moments, I think I subconsciously bring myself back. Sometimes, when you're walking and you hit your hand on the door, that's you not being aware of your surroundings. And it's also you being outside of your body. So for me, it's like hitting myself. It's like reminding myself, hey, you're in this world.
Come back. Yeah.
And even if you're cutting food and you like cut your nail or cut your, you have a little scrap, it's like, hey, come back.
It's like being automatic all the time. And we've talked about this, that sometimes we're like doing so many things at once and then we don't even know what we're doing at some point. It's like we are doing things so automatic sometimes that we don't focus on even what we are doing in the moment. So it's just like bring yourself back and be more aware. And something that I've noticed that recently, since I'm like doing so many things or like I'm so busy with work and my personal life, I start to lose touch of what's happening around me. It's like I'm so focused on like my problems in the moment that I don't even know what's happening. If someone's next to me, what's on my desk, what's happening outside. And it's like when you connect with all of those things and become more aware, it's for some reason it gives me peace. At least for me, it grounds me in a way. I don't know if that happens. That has happened to you.
For sure.
It's so weird, but it's so important and so like not so many people talk about it for some reason, but it's so helpful to be aware and like fully be present in everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Instead of being so automatic all the time.
Yeah. And we also talked about earlier that your surroundings can also be a reflection of what's happening inside of you in your head. And so for both of us, and I'm sure for you as well listening, when you have a lot of clutter in your personal space or in your office space or wherever it is, it's usually a reflection of how chaotic
It is inside.
or calm your mind is.
Yeah.
For me, whenever, and I was telling you this, whenever I do my bed every day, but if ever there is one day that I don't get to it for some reason, I know that day was chaotic. I probably skipped my yoga practice that morning. I probably didn't have breakfast.
Yeah.
I was all over the place that day.
Yeah, I agree. For me, what has happened is that some days I work from my bedroom and I start feeling super overwhelmed. It's like I'm foggy, like overwhelmed, whatever. And then I look around and it's like my clothes is all over the place. I have bags everywhere, shoes everywhere, stuff everywhere. And it's like, oh. And then I click and I go into like cleaning mode and I organize everything. And I'm not kidding. As soon as I'm done organizing, I feel so much better. It's like it helps so much mentally, so much more than we realize. That when I'm done, it's like, okay, now I can work.
Yes.
It's like now I can sit and work, be focused.
Yeah. So that's all for today. Today was a very cozy and chill episode. We hoped you liked it, and we hope that at least one of these 8 recommendations will resonate with you and that you'll actually try and incorporate it into your life. We always encourage you to connect with yourself, connect with your body, your surroundings, and let us know if there's anything that we haven't said that has helped you that
that would be great.
We don't know about. So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we always love to know more about you and what has worked for you. So, because that will help us too. We love sharing tips and hearing tips from other people. So that would be great if you can share those. And just remember how this episode started. We encourage you to ask those questions daily to yourself and try to focus to be more aware of your body, your emotions, your mind, what you're feeling, and your surroundings.
And take deep breaths.
They're so powerful.
The only way this podcast can grow is if you share and subscribe. So please do.
And you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify at As You Are Pod. And see you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday. Love you.
Bye.